Hello, everyone. Happy Halloween. I'm Harper, and I'm head of AI/ML at Brev.dev. And today I'm going to show you how you can upload your model that you have fine-tuned to replicate. Let's get to it. There are 5 steps to deploy your model with Replicate. First, we want to save our model checkpoint. Then we want to install Docker. Then we want to install and initiate cog. Then we want to set up our cog requirements, which will be a cog.yaml file and a predict Python file. And then we want to create the model on replicate and push. And first you want to save your model checkpoint. So in your machine, you should have a bunch of checkpoints, and it should look something like this, like what I show you here. So this is what you want it to look like. So once you have that, I'm going to check out a CPU instance on Brev because I don't think there's a reason for me to do all of this work in a GPU. It's expensive unnecessarily. So I'm just going to, use a CPU, the cheapest one, 4 cents an hour. Could even do a spot instance for like 1 cent an hour. But let's just do the top one. And we'll say it's deploy replicate. Great. And so we're going to deploy this, and it'll take a few minutes, and I'll come back when it's time to move on. Okay, so we see that it's starting. Let's click build, and we'll build our verb container, which is kind of like cog, which we'll learn about today. So after a few minutes, this should say running, and we're going to wait for the notebook button to show that it's live, and we can check on it. See, it's still unhealthy, so it needs a few more minutes to set up. So we'll come back in a minute. Okay, so our machine is ready. See, the notebook's turned on, notebook button, the instance is configured. So let's click it. Cool, we're ready to start. So this is where I'm going to upload my checkpoint zip file. And I'm also going to upload the notebook. Now I'm going to unzip the checkpoint file. Okay, I think it should be fine. We'll see if it's not. Okay, and so let's open the deploy to replicate notebook. Cool. So we've finished step 1, and we'll just set the checkpoint directory to be the current directory because we have, as we see in the notebook, if your checkpoint file is in the same directory as your Python notebook, you should be okay. Okay, cool. Now we're going to install Docker if it's not installed, and so we're going to run this. And so the script has been written, and now we want to run it. So now we want to install and initiate cog.
Cog is a really powerful tool by Replicate that makes it super easy to deploy a model for inference. Pretty much you do a bit of wiring and they give you an ML optimized Docker container that comes with an inference server and has the right Python and CUDA versions set up and ready to go. We actually found it really useful, which is why we built on top of it when building Verb, which is our tool that makes it really easy to get a container for fine tuning and training. So we add an SSH server, we added Jupyter notebooks, and our UI lets you point and click the Python and CUDA versions.
So we're going to run these 2 cells, and it looks like we have created the appropriate files. And so they should show up here in a minute. Refresh. Here they are. Great. And so you can see that these have been created. And so what this notebook will do is actually just set them up for you. So these are the cog.yaml and requirements.txt files that I had to upload my model. So you can alter these with your requirements if they're different. You can change what libraries you need to install in the requirements.txt file here. And then this was my predict.py file. And so we have this default prompt. And basically what these are is like here in the setup, actually, you know what? I'm going to copy this and put it in the Python file for you to see. It's easier to see in this editor rather than as a string. So I've defined in the setup, we just want to load the model. This is how Replicate is going to set up and run the model. So the predict is running for inference, and the setup is just the first time to get the model uploaded to Replicate. And so we have this base model ID. I've used Mistral for mine. You can change this if you use a different model, different base model. I am quantizing it, so I use a 4-bit quantization. So here I have that here. Here I load the base model with quantization, and I set the tokenizer. So see, I say self.tokenizer self.model, and so I am setting the tokenizer in the model for the model object, for Replicate's model object. And I just took this from my Jupyter notebook. I will link you the video of how I created my Mistral journal model. And so I'll link that in the video. And yeah, this setup code is just taken from that notebook, and so is the predict function here. And so here I set the prompt input and the max new tokens input, and see these have default values. And so you can, if your model needs to take different inputs, you can add those here. And then yeah, I just run prediction. Cool. So this is how it looks. And just running these cells, what this will do is just do that for you. Oh, I forgot to run this cell. Great. So right here, these will just overwrite the function. So we'll see now, I'll close it, and I'll reopen it. See, now it has what we want. Great, and so now we want to just create the replicate model and push. So let's follow this link and go to Replicate's create model page. And here I will create my model. So we'll just say deploy. And I want it to be a custom cog model, and I'll make it private. Great. So now I want to run this code, open a terminal and run this code. Your username, your model name. And look, they also provide it here, so you can also just copy the lines from here after you've created the model. I'm just gonna input them here. Hit enter. Now I need to get an auth token. I will hide this from you. Okay, so it's loading and it's uploading the model to Replicate. So this will take a few minutes, and I will be back when it's done. And in the meantime, I'm gonna dance to Halloween music, so it's gonna be great. Cool, so it's uploaded. See, it's finished. Run your model on Replicate. And so we can just go back to our page. It shows you the link here. And great, we can see the prompt that I put in, max new tokens. I can run it from here. And this is where you'll see all the APIs. So in different languages, they give you sample API calls. And if you want one that is not in one of these languages, it's helpful. You could get, like, say, if you want Go, you could put this into ChatGPT and ask it to translate to Go. It works really well. Or at least it has for me historically. So yeah, everything is here. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope this is helpful. And please let me know if you have any questions. Be sure to join our Discord, find me on X, and
X!
X! Anyway, really nice to meet you. And yeah, hope to talk to you soon. Happy Halloween! Okay, I'm listening to this Disney Halloween album. Okay, so I don't actually know any of these Halloween songs, so let's just not. Let's do a different Halloween playlist. I guess I'm too old for Halloween Disney these days. Oh, this is a classic, a classic. When I was in lower school, me and all the girls that I went to school with had to do a coordinated dance for this every year. Our teachers made us do it. We had to spend months learning this coordinated dance.
I could put on my toothpaste.
Yes, you should.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not useful.
So I just learned that Matter and I both spent a summer learning Michael Jackson dances, but mine was Thriller. And Nana learned Billie Jean. But like that's just not I don't know why. It's not useful.
It's not useful. It's not useful, she says.
For time.
Every year in elementary school, I would dance Billie Jean for a talent show.
That's so cute.
I'm trying to find this video. I have a video of it.